Who Day Bengal fans? He is Eric. Mon will be joining us shortly. I am Jake, and our guy, our college guru, Justin Wells, is joining us tonight. Guys, it is mock Thursday. We are doing one big mock draft tonight. Going to talk a little Bengals, little Trey Hendrickson, and then get right into that mock draft. But before we do, Justin, thanks for joining us, buddy. We love having you on always. How you been doing, man? You good?
Yeah, well, the it's been a good March Madness run, so looking
I know.
forward
I
to
knew this was coming.
this weekend, and we'll see how it goes.
The goatee, dude. The goatee is
Thank you.
it's there. It's there.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm trying to follow suit with the facial hair going on. Mon, how
Yeah.
you doing, bud?
I'm doing great. Justin, are you running a fever? This is like the first time you've ever been on our show, and you haven't said anything about Athens, Georgia. Is
Wow.
everything good?
Well, the show's not over yet.
Okay,
That's
I know,
true.
but
I mean,
Yeah.
at this point, it's kind of like beating a dead horse. I mean, how many? I think they just got two more arrested, like in the last 2 or 3 weeks. So
well, there's a lot of Georgia guys that could get drafted. I want the number of DUIs or reckless drivings attached to that profile. If you don't
Well,
mind
hey,
today.
if they get them all out while they're in Athens, then hopefully they, get them out of their system there, and then come to Cincinnati and behave. There you go.
Jake, I'm doing good. And guys, I got cleared my shoulder. I got approved
Nice.
to go back to work. I start tomorrow,
Nice.
so I'm good.
So you can now tell people to go to the beach?
Yeah, which way is it to the?
Oh, it's that way?
Yeah, but I'm going to be a little tentative, but I got cleared, so it's all good.
He's not going to be doing the YMCA or touchdown dances or anything?
Listen, this show is already going the wrong direction, guys. This show is we're already veering off the path here. Justin is going to be very upset when Malachi Sparks is picked tonight first by our Bengals.
Hey, that's, I, like I said, as long as he doesn't have any bad driving, influence the team with his bad driving habits, I'm good.
How you doing, Eric? You good?
I'm good. One of those things that, I typically root for underdogs in sports. And somehow I found myself as a kid in North Dakota, growing up in the early 90s and replicating the Christian Laettner shot for a good 5, 6 years. And somehow found myself the only team that I root for that everybody else in the world hates. So Justin and I are going to be squaring off this weekend as I cheer on Cooper Flag and
Oh yeah,
No,
look
boy.
for
Nobody-
Duke to get their first title. Well, you know what it is I'm all about the long names. I love Abel Hassan, Wolschlager, Krzyzewski, Zerbiak, all these guys with crazy names. Jake, you got Owens. You might need to complicate it. You need to add another hyphen, something, 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 potato or something in there, and you might be good.
I'm good.
I just got something to say.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh Steelers, St. Louis Cardinals, Boston Celtics, and Duke Blue Devils, the most hated teams in my sports, whatever.
yeah.
Duke
drives me nuts. I'm sorry, Eric. I love you. But I don't like Duke.
Hey, I'm not. It's one of the closet. I just came out of the closet as a Duke's fan. Duke fan. Sorry, guys, but if they win, everybody can yell at me for that. But otherwise, it'll be the first title without Krzyzewski. So maybe I'll say Krzyzewski over and over and over again, and that will bring everything just full circle. The one thing maybe we'll have to go live on Saturday because the Wolves face off against the hated 76ers. That's going to be an epic matchup. Probably not, but
Your team should win by 30.
Jennifer's not going to help me with golf. She's not going to do a golf podcast with me because she hates Duke as well.
You really threw me for a loop there, Eric, when you started talking about rooting for the underdogs, and then you're like, I'm a Duke fan.
I know. What was that? I was going to say the
I don't know. I don't know.
That's noted underdog Duke.
That's just it. Every other team that I've rooted for, I rooted for the Marlins when they first came out. I'm still a Marlins fan. I rooted for the Reds. I rooted for FSU when they were hated for many, many years. A lot of people still hate him. I think somebody on the screen hates him. So I can't be perfect, Not everybody's Mon. And with that, let's move on. Let's get to what we're here to talk about. We put this out there as another deep dive to the draft. We left Tuesday. We kind of broke the news about Trey. That story came out right before we went on air. We left Tuesday night thinking, okay, they've got an offer on the table for Trey, and Trey just needs to be happy about it. Trey just needs to accept that, maybe move up a little bit. Trey Hendrickson goes on the Pat McAfee show and basically says Katie is I don't know what the hell Katie's talking about, because as far as he knows, that they haven't talked to him about him. They didn't even reach out to him to tell him that, hey, we're signing T and Jamar. So Trey was completely caught off guard, and it doesn't sound like negotiations are as active as everybody was reporting. So let's get your guys' thoughts on this. Had some good outtakes from Tuesday's episodes, but what do you guys think? Actually, we'll go around the table here. Get your opinions on what you think since Trey came out and said nothing's been there. And let's go to Justin first, since we haven't heard anything from Justin on this topic.
Yeah. I don't really know what to think. It's interesting. I don't know if Cincinnati's playing the long game here and trying to just draw things out and hope for the best and sort of, I don't know. It's really baffling to me. I don't, I understand that maybe getting a deal done with him isn't the same priority as Jamar and T, obviously, but what are you going to do if you end up dealing him? I mean, what's that? I don't know. I it's kind of confusing. Like, I understand, maybe playing a little bit of hardball there and not wanting to, give him, a type of deal to say like Myles Garrett got. Totally understand that. Totally get that. I don't necessarily think he's worth that, but I mean, he has performed. I think he does have a valid case for getting a raise. So I don't know. I feel like, maybe Trey has been a little bit unreasonable in his demands, but I think Cincinnati plays their cards right, they can probably get him lower at a lower number than what he's wanting. But to just kind of like go about things the way they are is a little. I don't really see that approach. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But we'll see.
And we did hear one of the other comments was that he wanted this long-term deal when he got his 1 year extension, and he talked about, they promised me last year that we'd do this deal this year, and then they would promise me at the combine that we would get it done this year, and basically nobody's really commented or really been in touch with us. Mon, what's your take on Trey's post boat fishing commentary on McAfee?
I mean, I think I really talked about it. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here because I talked about it so much the other night. I think it's frustrating. I'm frustrated because I feel like the Bengals have spent so much time focusing on the big two, and they should. They were the priority. I think he feels a little jilted because I read reports today that he's upset that Katie and Troy didn't really reach out to his representatives. They had lower level people do that. Maybe one of the scouts, one of the head scouts, maybe Trey Brown. They're the ones trying to work the deal with the agent, and they sort of feel like those guys really can't make the decision. It's Katie that's going to make the decision. So why are you talking to us? We want to talk to Katie. That frustrates him. That's where the communication issues coming down, according to these reports. I still think I'm going to stand by what I said the other night. I think I think people underestimate how dominant he is. The Bengals don't have any other real legitimate talent that takes the pressure off of him. He doesn't have a counterpart like the other great pass rushers in the NFL do. And I think that makes it more impressive, his production. And there's some people out there that are local Cincinnati media personalities are saying that he really only had 10 sacks because he got 7.5 in 2 games against a bad third string tackle. What are you supposed to do? I mean, he did what he was supposed to do, to dominate a third team tackle. And so, he's deserving of a big raise. And I think I'm on Team Trey. That's what I'll say.
Jake?
Well, first of all, let me just say, Houday, it's hard for Mon to find concerts to go to because groups like Peter, Paul, and Mary, the Blue Oyster Cult, like those, they're not around anymore. You know what I'm saying? So
Billy Joel's going to Cincinnati. Was it Billy Joel and Sting? Isn't that who's going to Cincinnati?
He canceled. It was Rod Stewart. Come on, man.
Oh,
He canceled. He got hurt.
Violent Femmes played tonight in Cocoa.
hey, no,
serious?
really?
Ooh, that's
Holy
actually,
All right, I
cow.
think we all would have gone to that one.
yeah, actually, that's not bad.
Justin holding out on us.
I was thinking more. I was thinking more like '60s, you know, that kind of thing going on.
Well, you know,
Paul
Mon,
and Mary, what the hell?
Mon was still cool in the '90s. What are you talking about, man?
Listen,
Yeah.
I think the one thing that is being overlooked here is what is Katie doing? Like, don't you think there should be some PR person that's just like, Katie, stop talking. Stop talking. You are literally pissing on an open flame. Stop talking. Don't talk about Trey. Don't talk about your contract situation with Hamilton County. Stop talking. Stop talking. You're making it worse. She should not be the face of this organization. Whatever she does behind the scenes, it is what it is. But stop talking. Whoever's idea it is to let her talk about this organization needs to change, because when she opens her mouth, bad things happen. She has no filter at all, and she doesn't know how to read a room. And this was a very bad look for the Bengals organization. Not just the Trey situation, but now she's stirring the pot with Hamilton County. Just take care of business behind closed doors.
Listen, Mon sees my face over here. As the producer, I'm just like, oh, we're never getting a Bengals player or anything on. She's the owner of the frickin' team. You know, no one can tell her to stop talking.
Eric, I don't care. Listen, she's making it worse. She is making
Some
it worse.
Sometimes the house has to get messier before you can clean it up. And so be it. If this sparks communication between the sides, if this gets somebody, it gets Duke Tobin or Trey Brown or somebody to say, "Oh my, we need to call Trey. Let's figure this out." So be it. Mon, what did you want to add?
I just want to say, I think she's tone deaf, because you're already seeing people making fun of her comment, about he just needs to be happy with the money we're offering. Well, guess what? They're setting up these fake accounts. They're making comments. Hamilton County is telling Katie Blackburn, you should just be happy with what we're offering. Yeah. You should just be happy. So, her comments are backfiring. She's becoming sort of a, she's getting, jabbed on Twitter for her comments because they're twisting it, because she's in the middle of a big contract negotiation with the county.
Yeah.
Listen, I know it's frustrating. I think Trey deserves better. And I think there's an element of Bengal fans out there that don't really respect his production and what he's done. They don't really realize how dominant he has been, because he's the only thing going on that defensive line.
I'm just saying, my point is, it's a bad look when again, I know Mike Brown is the owner, but the person that's running the team right now, it's a bad look when they come out and say, listen, the ball is in Trey's court. And then Trey comes out and says, I don't know what she's talking about. We haven't even discussed anything. That's a bad look. It is a bad look. And just like we hold the Bengal players accountable when they don't do things the right way, everybody in that building has got to be held accountable, including the front office. And this is a bad look for our Bengals. Her coming out and just saying things that obviously, again, I know it might be a he said, she said type of thing, but I don't know. Trey's been pretty up. It sounds like Trey's been pretty upfront about all of this. So yeah, I am now frustrated. Like I am to the point where this front office has really is really dropping the ball in this situation. Again, Trey came out and said, I don't want to be the highest paid. I just want what I deserve. I want what my value is. And again, I've been very hard about how, and Justin kind of mentioned this, part of this is Trey's agent needs to be fired. He has started this entire thing by you putting together a very bad deal for Trey in the first place. But it sounds like to me that Trey just wants this done, and the front office is, kicking tires on it.
So we just need Joe Burrow to come out and say Trey is a need. He already said that, and then Trey to switch to Rocky Arsenal, and then this all gets done. Perfect. Everybody, every one of the Bengals players can be represented by Rocky Arsenal, and we'll just move forward with that. It is what it is. The Bengals always have to win these deals. Problem is Trey's under contract, so it is very, very frustrating. We this is going to be a draft show, so we're going to get to that. Before we do, we got a super chat just to throw up there. Unfortunately, Wandering Monk has to all remind us that the most hated team is the 49ers. And I don't, well, at least three of us were alive. One of my first memories is just being devastated after that loss in the 89 Super Bowl. Just devastated. So I hate the 49ers. I've hated my whole life. I will never root for them. To the point, our best matchup when we went to the Super Bowl was probably the 49ers, but I didn't want to play them. I didn't want to lose to them three times. We probably would have beat them, but I just can't do it. And I think this year's Super Bowl is in San Francisco, right?
It
So
is.
to exercise the demons, we got to go all the way, and we got to win a Super Bowl in San Francisco. And not a super chat, but another comment from Wandering Monk.
Hey,
Takesh Mode is playing, so
let me tell you something. Wandering Monk, I saw them in the Orlando Arena. That was one of the best concerts ever in the Violator tour. Good band. I like
the
you.
what tour?
Violator.
Are
That
they
was a great
allowed to have that
album.
tour anymore?
It's a great album.
It's a great album. That's a really good album.
Listen, Eric. If it's not Backstreet Boys, Eric has no idea what we're talking about.
Please, you have no idea my taste in music, like Backstreet Boys. I mean, yes, Backstreet Boys are okay, but one of my key goals is getting sidetracked, but on the Spotify playlist is just to throw them up. So you got to have a little country, you got to have a little rap, you got to have a little pop, you got to have a little reggae in there, you got to have a little polka music. Never let the AI guess what you want to listen to.
This guy right here used to be security for Morning Yesterday. Justin right here.
That's right.
Justin,
great local band.
Yeah.
Can you sing a little bit? I don't know.
You're saying Justin was a roadie.
That's why I work security.
Yeah, he let them go through to beat up the band.
You sang so that they'd go away? Is that how it works?
Yeah, no. If people paid me $20, I let them go take a shot at them.
Hey, there we go.
Let's get to the draft.
All right. So before we do, I tried to get Jake and Mon on board. We've talked it all along how Joe Burrow is the key to a Super Bowl run. So I want to get your opinion on this. Joe Burrow is the key to a Super Bowl run. They agree Joe Burrow is the key. A healthy Joe Burrow is the key. They agree that the Joe Burrow's escapability in the pocket last year was unsustainable long term. They agreed that what was the third thing? That we can't have him do that, and so we need better guard play. But I couldn't get them agree to the fact that we need to go guard or offensive tackle, converting to guard in the first and third rounds. What are your opinions? Do you think that guard or interior offensive line should be number one and number two priority in the draft? Or are you like Jake and still want a defensive tackle or safety, somebody on the defense?
Best player available.
No, you didn't say that because you will not take Ashton Genty, and that's the best player available on everyone. You want the best defensive player available.
Yes.
Now let Justin give us his opinion.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm in the best player available camp, but if you've got a few guys that are close and you can address guard, interior, offensive line, I think you really got to look that way. And there are going to be some options. It's going to be really interesting to see how the draft plays out because there will be 3 or 4 good options, but how many of those will be there when the Bengals come up to? Yeah, I saw that. That's good. I'm glad you pulled that one up.
So is Angela saying bye because you don't like Backstreet Boys, or is there a video out there, Angela? I need to know. Is there a video out there of Jake singing bye doing the dance?
No.
Did he grow the beard to distance himself from JT?
No.
Continue.
But yeah, if you yeah, it's really going to depend on who's on the board. But yeah, interior offensive line. If you can get an edge, a big time edge, there's several of those. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what position or positions we see that run on, in the teens, because that could have a lot to do. And when we talked about it, in the last show, depending on how the board plays out, maybe you trade down. To me, that's a very realistic option, especially if they're not going to make any effort to trade up, which I wouldn't expect them to.
We'll see. Well, you guys want to get into go for a mock? Let's
Yeah,
get the
real quick.
PFF big board up.
Real quick, I think the real question, Justin, is by the Crypt Keeper. Is that a Dean King behind you?
Yeah. Well, we have a.
I'm going to put Justin to work here.
We can pull the tiles up. So.
I thought maybe that might be the Bengals don't buy new helmets. They just had call you up with that and have you pop the dents out.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
This show is all over the place. The catch mode, this device, we're all over the place.
So we're all over our place in our group chat too, that with the Ace and Zim, and we got word or got wind of the fact that the Bengals were really only have 4 scouts because they include Duke Tobin and Trey Brown in that. And so we were throwing, they need to just hire 4 Justins, like people that eat, sleep, and breathe college football.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, like how much, it's not going to cost that much. Just get people that like college football. You know more about college football than anybody I've ever met. And there are so many more like you. Like that's all you need. You need somebody to say, "Hey, guys should draft this guy," and you come out and say, "Well, he's very far out there. He likes to sit at casinos most of the day, talk about aliens, and he may not show up for meetings." Like you don't get that from normal scouting. You get that from the guys that know they're out there, and then you get that. What's the Kevin Costner movie where nobody attended his birthday party? Things like that. The Bengals are lacking, and I'm saying make an appeal. Katie Blackburn, Duke Tobin, Justin. Justin doesn't have to move. You just go. You just Skype in. Go to all these football games. Just pay for his travel. Come on.
Yep. $10 an hour will bring the device. Okay.
Yeah, and he'll pop out your helmets too.
Bring that with me. Yep.
Let's do it. Are we doing PFF tonight, Eric?
Yeah, I got PFF up. That's what we'll run with.
All right. Let's do it.
All right, guys. Are trades on? What's going on here, Eric?
Sure. Everything's on the table.
For our podcast, people that listen in the car, we're going to try to let you know what's going on there. So let's do this.
Wow, it's a lot of emails to read.
Do you want to do like each one of us pick a round like we did in the past?
Let's pick as a team and.
Oh boy, this is going to be a 3-hour show.
Justin, you don't want to read my 35,000 emails? I'll get that off there.
I mean, we run out.
Let's do this. Everybody pick their guy, and then Eric will debate it, and then I'll come with just decide on one.
All right, here we go.
All right, we're gonna kick it off here. Let me make sure I got it right. To get 6 rounds. Yep.
No.
All right, so Mike Green went off the board just before us. Azarukai. Grant's gone. Will Johnson's gone.
I think I know who we're going with here.
Oh yeah.
We can't go with Starks again, can we? So we're getting to
100%.
Gotten to our pick. Malachi Starks is still here. Wide receiver out of Missouri is here. James Pierce Jr., Josh Simmons tackle, Kelvin Banks tackle, Walter Nolan, Colston Loveland. What do you got, guys? Mon, let's go with you first. Who's jumping out at you?
Okay, obviously Malachi Starks, but go down a little bit. I'm off the Pierce train from what I've read recently about him.
Yeah,
I love Simmons and I love Banks. Pierce is got a lot of baggage, man. I don't know about that. So just look at the trade options, please.
All right, Steelers want to trade. I'm telling Steelers to go to hell. Nope.
Yeah.
Chargers want to trade. They're at pick 22. Are we even considering the Chargers?
I would if we can get 22 and 86.
Also, the Eagles at 32, and then the Falcons at the 46th pick. So I would say the only one we
Yeah,
consider is the Chargers.
Would you guys consider a trade if the Chargers, even though they could be a main opponent?
Well, I don't think we play them this year, so the only time we would see him would be in the playoffs.
I'm with you, Mon. If they give us 86, I'd consider it.
Jake, what do you think?
I'm taking Malachi Starks. Yeah, I'm not trading down here. I think again, I think you know, again, to me, Malachi Starks is a top 10, top 12 pick in this draft, and I would think it'd be crazy for the Bengals not to pick the best player available, who also is a position of need. This guy is not a top 20 pick. This is one of the best players in the draft on the defensive side of the ball. He's the best player available. For me, there's no way I pass up on Malachi Starks. We have been trying to replace Jesse Bates for 2 years now. This guy's 21 years old. He's 200 pounds. He's a dude. He's a big dude. He's athletic. There's no way I'm passing on Malachi Starks. No possible way am I trading down, especially with an AFC opponent. I'm not doing that.
I respect that. He's the best player available, and I respect it. I'm just saying we could get another top 100 pick, which is huge.
And I understand. Listen, I'm with you on that, and you know how I feel about it. I think if Malachi Starks is not sitting there, I think the best thing to do is trade down at that point. But guys, this is a top 10 talent at 17 at a position of need on a defense that, let's just be real, was absolutely atrocious last year, especially on the back end. Now you team him up with Geno Stone, you team him up with Jordan Battle, and now your safety room looks a lot better, because I'm going to tell you guys, safety is a need. They're going to have to draft a safety somewhere in this draft. Why not draft the best one in the draft?
So Justin, are there any offensive linemen here that would be successful guards? So if we move back to 22, so we're talking 5 picks. We got Josh Simmons here, Kelvin Banks Jr. Are any of them plug and play guards?
Yeah. I mean, I think the specifically Banks, I think, is someone that Cincinnati's looking at.
They are.
So yeah, I mean, I agree with a lot of what Jake is saying, and I mean, I do think safety is a need, and that is your best player in the draft. Now, he is athletic, but not like an elite athlete. So
Right.
he actually tested a little lesser than I think some people are expecting, but still tested very well. So let's not like get it.
And I think too, Justin, I mean, you're an SEC guy. SEC guy. This guy, he's part of a national championship team, right? He's part of one of the most winning programs in the country the last 3 or 4 years. He was, I think, two-time first team All SEC? I mean, this dude is serious. Like, he is a legit top 10 pick, and he's sitting there at 17. There's no way you can pass this up. No way.
Mon, you got a shout out from Augie. Thanks for joining us, Augie.
Augie, I'll see you tailgating this year, buddy. I hope.
Yeah, who day, Augie? Who day?
I tell you, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I want to accumulate draft picks. I want to accumulate because we have so many needs. We really do. But Malachi Starks has always been one of my favorite players in this draft. He's not a thumper, though. I mean, he's a good player. He's a good player. I will not lose any sleep if we pick him.
And really,
I think Justin will, though. Justin will with coming out of Georgia. I mean, I think that should be the tiebreaker.
No, I mean, once they get out of the bad influences of Athens, then it's I don't care. I mean, Joe Burrow was a LSU Tiger. I don't hold that against him. So.
Let's make
it. And he's from Athens, Ohio. So maybe there's some crossover there. We've taken Malachi Starks in multiple mocks. I think we should propose the trade and move on and see what we get from there.
Okay.
We know that Jake's on the record that he wants Malachi Starks if he's there.
No, the Bengals. I'm telling you, you don't pass this up. You do not pass up Malachi Starks to get a third-round pick or something crazy like that.
But when
And
I will
you
say
have
this.
8 holes to fill,
I will say this: if we pick Malachi Starks, like I said, I'm fine. But I'm going to tell you who the Bengals are going to pick. The
Malachi
Bengals
Starks.
aren't going to pick him. They're going to pick Banks.
No.
I suspect that's who it's going to be, because I don't think Starks will be there at 17.
I don't think he'll be there either at 17. But I don't. Again, to me, Banks is a reach. I don't.
well, let's try and trade back and see if Banks is there. Because if we're saying Malachi's not going to be there anywhere, then what's the point of drafting him here? It's an unrealistic draft. Let's take an extra pick. Let's move back, and let's see if we get a guard.
If we want to be realistic, don't. I mean, there's no way they're going to give us their 56th pick.
No, but 22nd and 86.
Right. Let's see.
That's swapping first round picks and picking up a third.
Okay.
Starks probably won't be there. Why not give it a shot?
Sorry, Bengal fans.
They accepted it. Hey, listen, you've already ranted about Katie and Duke, and they're not gonna pick the right guy anyway.
It's going to be a 6-hour Bengals Pulse. Let's see what's up.
So for those listening on audio, we traded the 17th pick for 22 and 86. We get to our position. Malachi Starks went 19th. And the best available is James Pierce Jr. Kelvin Banks is there. Walter Nolan.
Yeah, it's either
Jake. He went to Tampa. You can go see him in Tampa.
Look at
Malachi Starks. You can go see him with Baker.
You guys have lost your ever-loving mind if you think the Bengals pass on.
No, but he's not going to be there, and we're realistic tonight, so we traded back.
If he is there, I think the Bengals would it's going to be between him and I think they're going to go offensive line here. I think they're going to go offensive line, guard.
You don't think, and I'm with you about the James Pierce thing. Him and Mike Green both. There's a lot of baggage with those two guys. You don't think Walter Nolan is in play here, Justin? You're an SEC guy. I'm a big Walter Nolan guy. I like Walter Nolan. What are your thoughts on Walter Nolan?
He was a part of that huge A&M class. Ended up all transferring out once Jimbo got canned. He is a uber talented interior defensive lineman. Gives you some pass rushing ability. I don't really know what he tested out at, but big guy, can make plays in the backfield. He's a nice player. He was I know coming out of high school, he was, I think, a top 5, if not top. He might have even been the number 1 overall prospect, if memory serves me right.
Well, I mean, I'll just throw my vote in. My vote's for Walter Nolan here. I think Kelvin Banks is a reach. I think Walter Nolan fills the need that and is a prospect, a guy that we have not had that pass rushing ability from the interior of the defensive line. Again, you know my argument. The defense was atrocious. We got to fix the defense.
Offensive line play. Our guard play was the worst in the league and the second to worst in the league. And Joe Burrow is the best quarterback in the league, but he can't throw from the ground.
Eric, real quick.
Can't reach.
We have 4 picks in the top 100. 4 picks. I think we're going to be able to address them. I will say this in Eric's defense. I think the defensive line prospects are very deep in this draft. We can get a really good one at 49. We really could get a good one at 49 and 81.
And my counter to you can't reach. Hold on, my counter to you can't reach is I know you got Walter Nolan on this pedestal, but nobody he's not ranked higher than Banks, so you're not reaching. Banks is the 20th ranked player. Nolan's the 23rd. So you're telling me Nolan's better than everybody else is just wrong about Nolan, but Jake Owens is right.
I assure you that Walter Nolan is a better prospect than Kelvin Banks. I assure you.
A majority in our chat agree with Jake.
I assure you.
That's fine.
I assure you that Walter Nolan is a better prospect.
You're drafting a person that's going to be on the field for 30 pass rushing snaps a game as
Yes.
opposed to an offensive starting guard that's going to play 100% of the offensive snaps
Is
for
Harmon
somebody that's going to be
available?
on situ.
We had
Is Harmon
34
available?
sacks. We had 34 sacks last year. Half of those was by one man. Yes.
And how many sack times did Joe Burrow get sacked? And how many did our guards give up? You can't
Listen,
count because you
there
don't
are
have enough
guards.
fingers.
There are guards out there. Eric, we averaged. Oh God, we cannot have this discussion again, Eric. We already had this discussion.
Then
We did not
okay,
make
just
the playoffs,
one.
Eric. We did not make the playoffs because of our defense, not because of our guard play. We missed the playoffs because our defense sucked. Because
2 years prior, we missed the playoff.
Okay, time out. Mon and Justin are going to talk now. Justin, who do you want? We're the tiebreakers.
Who else do we got? Can we go down a little further? We got Banks. We got Nolan. Is Shamar still on the board, Stuart?
Yes.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it needs to be one of those three: Banks, Stewart, or Nolan.
Yeah, I agree with all three. Jake, valid points. The only reason I'm gonna go offensive line, there's not enough offensive linemen that are really high quality in this draft. And I think if we want one that's going to start day one, we have to get one at 17 or 49.
Right.
I do agree.
Let me say this too, Mon. You're projecting that they're going to be able to move Banks to guard. That's what you're projecting, right? You're saying that we're not drafting him as a tackle, the position he played. We're drafting him projecting that the Bengals can move him to guard. That, to me, says all that needs to be said. You can't grab a guy and project to move him. You understand what I'm saying?
But they do that all the time with college tackles. The majority of college tackles play offensive guard. Joe Burrow was sacked 51 times last year. And if you're going to die on this, I need defense over guard, then I don't want to have one text in the group text all year that complains about the offensive guards at all. If you're going to die on this hill, you got to stop.
Take Banks. Take Banks. I am just stating facts, but you could take Banks.
I'll say
You're not stating facts. Joe Burrow was sacked 51 times.
Paul Boehner brought up a good point in his pod today. He keeps on hearing chatter about Banks. Banks will play guard. He's 330 plus pounds. He has the body for it, and then he can eventually swing out and be our replacement for Orlando Brown in a couple years.
Well, honestly, I mean, in terms of physical traits, I think he's a better fit at guard. Right. I know he played a left tackle at Texas, but talking about a guy who doesn't have great arm length. I think his arms are like 33 and a half inches. So that's on the short side for a tackle. He's 6'4", which is on the short side for a tackle. So, I mean, you may make that move inside, and then he just hopefully, if he ends up in Cincinnati, he makes that transition, does very well, and then that's where he stays.
Yeah, I don't think it's a reach picking him. He's rated higher than Nolan, but Nolan is a massive need. That position is a huge need. We haven't replaced Larry O. We haven't gotten production there.
I mean, you need a pass rusher on defense. I would argue that defensive tackle is considerably less of a need, especially after you go get Slayton, and
the guys from last year. Yeah.
The numbers there are pretty good. You may add one more defensive tackle, but I don't think it's a guy you need to go get, especially not in round one. But if you're saying Nolan's going to be an elite pass rusher, which maybe he won't, but if that's what you're looking for, and maybe you play him some on the end as well because of that ability, then yes, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I think Jenkins and Jackson showed some flashes last year, but I don't think they're ever going to be the kind of guy that that combination of B.J. Hill and Larry Ogunjobi, 14 and a half sacks in a Super Bowl season. I just want that kind of dynamite play from a defensive tackle. Somebody that could, shoot the gaps and put pressure and, scare Mahomes and scare Josh Allen. But, this is a tough one. It really is. Eric, Jake, you have great points. You really do. We can't go wrong with either one of those two. We really can't.
And we're going to let Justin make the pick, because Justin's going to be the impartial. Justin knows more than we know, and I'll admit that. Um, my thing, if you're taking defensive tackle here, you're going to have to go guard in the next 2 rounds.
See, that's I don't like that though.
Yeah.
I don't like being handcuffed like that. But Justin,
Unless
make the call.
you have a secret deal in place with Scherf, to me, it's at least in the next 3 picks, you're going to have to go 2 guards.
I
There's no
say
secret deal with Scherf.
the other thing
Scherf
that
wants. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Justin.
no, I was just gonna say, and we'll see what happens with this draft. But I recall in our last mock, we had a lot of good defensive line options throughout the draft. Considering that, I think I'm gonna take Banks here.
Okay.
All right. We spent 30 minutes on pick one. Let's go to the next round.
I told you this was going to be a 3-hour show if we don't do our own picks.
Listen, Jake, and you're welcome, because Jake loves nothing better than saying "I told you so."
Okay,
You're welcome.
40.
All right.
All right, we're sitting at pick 49. We drafted Banks in the first. We're sitting at 49. The best players available: Jaden Higgins, wide receiver, Ohio; Cam Scatabo, JT Tuimoloau, Carson Schlesinger, Samir
Jeez.
Turner, Jack Sawyer.
Hell no on Restrepo.
Anybody jumping out at you here?
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of really good defensive players there. I love the kid from. I like Lott from Tennessee. I think he's going to be a stud.
I like the UCLA linebacker. I can't pronounce his name, but
Schlesinger.
Yeah.
Just like
No,
Krzyzewski, Schlesinger.
the edge from Ohio State's a very good option. Sawyer is really reminiscent of, honestly, I got to say, another Ohio State edge. He's very much a Sam Hubbard type. He's probably not gonna have those elite sack numbers, but he's going to be a high effort guy, plays solid against the run, probably give you 7-8 sacks a year. Like it says, he's a high floor guy, not very unlikely to be a bust, but might not ever be that 12 to 15 sack player on the edge for you.
There's a lot of good players.
Yeah, the corner from.
What about this kid from Ohio State, this edge rusher?
Yeah, he's a nice player too. He's kind of an inside-out guy. Yeah, another one that's probably not going to give you huge sack numbers, but has nice versatility.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's really what we need, though.
Yeah, Thomas from Florida State, nice corner, good size, and I gotta say, I don't think running back's the pick here, but Caleb Johnson is a really nice running back out of Iowa, who ironically is from the Cincinnati area.
Yeah, he is. He's a stud. And the Junkins kid from Ohio State's going to be a hell of a
I was going to say, I think, again, I know running back's probably not on the board here, but that Junkins kid from Ohio State,
nasty.
I'm just throwing this out here. The Bengals, if Junkins is here, I think the Bengals probably at least discuss the Junkins pick. I do believe that, but I don't think they'll take him.
What about the Turner here, defensive interior?
Turner might, honestly, of those D linemen, that might be your best bet of this group.
He's built a lot like Nolan. His
Yeah.
production wasn't that good, though, in college, was it?
He's got active, violent hands, unwavering effort. I don't know.
Yeah, Jocko, I mentioned that at the last show on Tuesday. Al Golden, beating on the table for Benjamin Morrison, the kid from Notre Dame. I think that is a possibility as well. I'm not saying that's who I want. I'm just saying I could definitely see Al Golden beating the table for Morrison.
Justin, did he tear his ACL at Notre Dame?
I know he got hurt.
I know it was a knee injury. I don't know if it was cartilage or ACL. Click on that, Eric, real quick. Getting back from hip hip surgery and getting a bit stronger. Hip surgery.
Similar to what Jamar Chase had, maybe.
Well, yeah, there was a lot of early mocks before the process started. They had him as a top 20 pick.
So
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know if
Turner,
that's what you need, but
Turner had
Oh,
That's
six.
a
that's
good catch, Jake.
he's
Turner
also
had 6 sacks.
66 ranked. Sorry.
No, Turner had 6 sacks last year. Nolan had 6.5 this year. So production-wise, I'd say yeah, there's some similarities there in terms of the profile and also the production at the college level.
I'm not crazy about Jack Sawyer. I think a lot of people are being homers on social media because he's an Ohio State guy. I'm sure he's going to have a productive career in the pros, but we're not talking about a Boza here. I don't think he's that kind of football player.
No, absolutely is not.
let me just throw this out here too. We don't know what the situation uh, at linebacker is going to look like. You know what I mean? That's if Carson Schlesinger is here, you're not far off of best player available. And again, we don't know what's going to happen with Jermaine Pratt. I mean, they are being very nonchalant about the Jermaine Pratt situation.
Ooh, big
So
word.
that's how we roll. That's how we roll in the Owens household. We only use big words here in the Owens household.
Okay.
But I
Arnold
think
Schwarzenegger.
I think Carson Schlesinger here. If the Bengals are moving from Jermaine Pratt, I don't think that is too far off. He's a good player. He's a real good
We
player.
don't,
Very
Jake,
productive linebacker.
you don't want another Higgins at wide receiver? Higgins
No.
and Higgins?
No, we're
I,
good. We're good.
I do agree it's a need, but just like we said in the first round, defensive line is deep. I don't want to go into the 80s without picking an offensive line or defensive line. I'm sorry. There's some.
Oh, you
really
want to go
good
with Turner?
I want to go with a defensive line here. I didn't say Turner. I like the other guy from Ohio State, JT Tuamalu, or go back towards the top.
I don't think he. Oh, okay. He's an edge. So you want another edge?
He did have 12.5 sacks this year.
Let's click on him and see his profile.
Just, just a reminder. We've got Miles Murphy. We've got Osai. We've got Sample.
That's more of a profile, a Bengal type defensive end. About 270 pounds. He'll definitely get a little bigger. You know,
Oh, he's gonna.
I wouldn't count on that.
He's gonna come out and supplant all those guys that have already been there for years. And Osai, who we just re-signed.
Eric wants
I have high hopes for Murphy. I have high hopes.
Tackle.
I have high hopes for Murphy. I have high hopes for our defensive ends. None of them have done anything yet. So right now, at this point, I can only go by what they've done. All right.
Oh, yeah. We said it the other night. The best for predictor of future performance is past performance. As long as I guess I'm still going back to the Lou era where he didn't play the young guys. So as long as Golden's going to play the young guys, I'm okay with it. I just been burned before.
Yeah, I think it's got to be Tui Malau, or however the heck you say his name.
Okay.
Tui Paludu.
Tui Molau.
12.5 sacks last year. Let's do it.
He doesn't fit.
4 6s.
Okay. We're drafting him. We're almost at an hour. We'll get to round 3 within an hour.
I told you.
Got 2 picks in round 3.
Listen, if we didn't talk about the dent puller and Jake's love for NSYNC, we'd be fine. We're sitting here at pick 81. Best on the board is Terrence Ferguson, tight end, Vernon Broughton, Jordan Phillips, Jared Wilson. Stop me in here, RJ Harvey. That's Jake's pick. We're not taking that. Jonah Savina. Yeah, Jonah. A tackle named Jonah. We probably can't draft him.
He's about 340 pounds.
Here's Mon's guy Wyatt Millum, and Tate Ratledge is there.
Wow, Tate Ratledge is still sitting there.
So keep in mind we have picked
draft. And
we have picked 81 and 86.
We reached Tom Banks.
We didn't reach. He was one of the best guys on the board. We would have been reaching on Nolan. You want position of need. We didn't reach for position of need.
What do we think?
Justin,
Um, hmm. Good, good question.
I got safety here, Kevin Winston Jr. How does he compare to the guy we passed up on Starks?
Um,
Looking at partially torn ACL, ended his junior season.
he's bigger though, and similar combine numbers. I mean, I would say I would kind of probably lean toward him here.
Guys, I think we have an opportunity to finally fix the interior offensive line. It is finally just fix it. There's multiple players here. Ratledge, Millam, the kid from Arizona is 340 pounds. Let's face it. Jared Wilson's available from Georgia. This is Karras's last year. Bolson's probably going to be gone. We need bodies in the interior offensive line. Everybody, is so excited about Matt Lee. He was a 7th round pick last year. Jackson Kirkland was an undrafted free agent. So I think this is a perfect opportunity to reinforce the interior offensive line.
Just keep in mind, we're at pick 81. We also have pick 86.
Absolutely, we do. And
So to pass on,
if you want to go highest rated here, BPA, and then 86, there'll still be a guard there.
Yeah, I say go Winston here, and then probably interior offensive line with the next pick.
You guys go with that? Taking the safety?
Jake, you're a Penn State dude. Your dad is. You like that guy?
Yeah, I mean, he's not a bad football player. I think he had he had an injury, I think, early on, but yeah, I mean, again, I think because we have 86, we can probably go defense here. I think Ratledge has got to be our next pick. I think
so.
Yeah, I'm good with it. I'm good.
I'm good with Ratledge at 86.
A lot of people in the chat do want Ratledge. I think what we're saying is we're at 81. We have pick 86 due to the trade. He should still be there. If he's not, there's 2 or 3 other offensive linemen that are.
Yes.
Let me just harp something. I agree with Jake in this sense. I don't think it's a sneaky need, but a lot of people out there do. Safety is a need because I don't believe in Geno Stone. He's a horrible tackler. Jordan Battle, to me, I think has a bright future, but he's not the most athletic guy. Is Winston athletic, or is he a Battle clone?
No, he's athletic.
Is he?
Okay. And it says the bottom line, his 2023 tape had him projected to be a first-round pick, but he tore his ACL, and that's muddied his future. So it's a guy due to injury, which ACL it's a common injury now, and it's a pretty straightforward repair. Most people do recover. If we're sitting at more than a year out since he tore it, he should be back to form or close.
Eric Hall, don't forget him.
When he's healthy, he is a very good football player. And he probably, if there wasn't all the injury stuff, he probably would be a first round talent as far as that goes. But you're going to take you're taking a risk with the injury thing. But I think this is a situation here where as long as we feel like we can get Ratledge, because I think Ratledge starts over Banks right away. So
can I ask you guys a quick question? Go up there, Eric. Type in safety. Let's see how many safeties are available in this draft. Yeah, I like Ransom from Ohio State. I do like him, but Winston definitely has more upside. I just don't. The injury thing scares me. Draft Winston. Let's do it.
Even though the injury thing scares you,
it does a little bit, but
you're not going to play it safe. He's going to draft the safety.
Let's do it.
Out of Penn State. All right.
I know, Tom. I tried.
Hey, we're rolling, and we're believing that Ratledge is still going to be here. And Tate Ratledge is still there. So is Wyatt Millam. So is Cameron Williams.
Pick him.
So is Lathan Ransom. We promised you Ratledge. We're taking Ratledge. And you know what? Mon's gonna grow out his mullet.
Let's do it.
Just
Yeah.
and we'll buy one for Jake.
Let's do it. Police driving record. Okay, let's go. Um,
Oh, I heard he just. Oh, no! Breaking news! He just got pulled over.
All right,
All right,
we are
guys, real
sitting
quick.
here at
Let's
pick 119.
Eric,
Go ahead.
click on our picks. Let's do a quick review of who we have picked. Your picks up top there.
So, yep, I got it. That's on the screen here.
Okay.
So far, we've
Thank
taken Kelvin Banks, tackle out of Texas, going to play guard. After we traded back to pick 22, JT Tuamola out of Ohio State, Kevin Winston Jr., and Tate Ratledge. We've fixed both guard positions. We've sent Geno Stone to the quarry, and we've got an edge out of Ohio State. And our best available right now is tight end out of Bowling Green, Harold Fannin, Aeneas Peebles, Virginia Tech, Gunnar Helm, Quadrarius Robinson, Mello Dotson, Pegas, JJ Pegas, Noel Williams. Stop me if you see somebody.
Pegas from Ole Miss. His
No.
RAS isn't that good. Isn't that
Yeah.
good though?
God, no,
No.
absolutely not. Unathletic. Yeah, he scored 7 touchdowns. Great.
That's going pretty far up, Eric. That'd be reach category.
We got some trade offers too. Not going to talk about that one. Eagles want to trade with us. Texans, Chiefs.
I say we keep
Yeah.
our picks. Just keep our
Keep
picks.
our picks now. So what are we going to do? Best guy there is a tight end. The best top two of the top three is a tight end, and then we've got another edge
I
and a
go.
cornerback.
I'm just throwing this out here. We talked about Robinson on. We talked about Robinson on Tuesday. Justin, what are your thoughts on Robinson, the edge from Alabama?
Yeah, I
He's
mean,
on the smaller side, right?
yeah, he is. I mean, 6'4", 245, athletic. I mean, to me, 6'4", 245 isn't that bad. I mean, it's not like we're talking about a guy who's like 6'2", 240 or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's definitely a possibility there.
I mean, if you're telling me tight end or edge, I'm taking an edge guy right here.
We already took an edge though. You're gonna
well,
take two edges.
Yes. Again, I think that's part of the Bengals' problem in recent years is not doubling up when you should double up on position. A lot of teams double up. A lot of teams take, those top best players available. They don't care if they just took one the round before. A lot of times that works out. So yes, and again, our defense was one of the worst defenses in the NFL. So yeah,
Are there any linebackers available?
Yeah, let's go. Can we go back and take a look at some of the other guys?
I don't know if there was one anywhere in the top.
128. We're sitting at pick.
Carter is pretty good. I mean, that would be a little.
It's a little bit of a reach. Yeah, it's a little further down. What about cornerback? Kid from California there. Go back up, Eric.
Yeah, well, we're sitting at pick 119 here, and he's the 128th ranked.
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, if there's 100, Fannon's 103.
Mello Dotson is the top rated cornerback.
Do me a favor. Go back and click on Peebles from Virginia Tech. I've heard a lot of people talk about him on social media. They're saying he's a stud. First look.
Measurables won't do him any favors.
Yeah. He's built a lot like Geno. I think the kid from the kid from Alabama is going to probably be the safest pick.
Yeah, Peebles is only 6 foot, 282. Oof.
Yeah, let's do Robinson, man. It helps the trenches. We've been preaching it for 22 episodes since the season ended.
He had 4 sacks last year.
Who did? Robinson?
I think he had 7 in his career. So I'm just saying, it's not like he was some uber productive guy.
I'm thinking when you look at his size, he's probably more of like a will backer and an odd front. You know what I mean? I think he's probably a guy that drops in coverage a little bit, maybe rushes off the edge. I don't know if he's a true edge rusher. I mean, maybe the Bengals could turn him into a pass rushing specialist, but at 240, you know, he's obviously playing in some kind of an odd front where I'm sure he's dropping into coverage too as well. He's not probably rushing the passer on every play.
No discussion on Harold Fannin Jr. here, tight end.
He looks like a receiver to me. He's 230 pounds. He's not a very big guy.
No, I don't think tight end. I don't think you can go tight end this early.
I think Tyler McLaughlin's going to have a big role for us this year.
Any running backs here that jump out? You know, some people in the chat wanted to see that.
Yeah, I saw that.
Have 1,555 yards receiving this year.
Who's that?
Fannin had 1,555 yards receiving.
Wow, that's impressive.
As he could be an inline blocker, tight end two, wing back on occasion. Sounds like a what's the name replacement?
Talking about the guy that got hurt?
No. Who's our fullback? Why can't he? He's not coming to my mind right now.
Ryan?
No, our tight end fullback. Why is it escaping me?
Sample?
Drew Sample. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sample 280.
Yeah, this guy's 240. I mean, he's you know, an overgrown receiver, pretty athletic. His combine numbers are nice. Yeah, I mean, so you can either go with sort of a tweener at tight end who was very, very, very productive, or you could go with a tweener at linebacker who doesn't have huge production, but interestingly, like Sam Hubbard, was recruited to Alabama. Sam Hubbard came to Ohio State as a safety and ended up as a D end, and Robinson kind of did a similar move, although, you know, is more of a sort of a hybrid edge linebacker type. So I would probably, out of that group, I'd probably go Robinson. Although I would say if you went Fannin, that would not.
Okay.
I'd be okay with that too. But I'd say Robinson's probably your best bet.
I'm with Robinson also.
All right, we know Jake is drafting Robinson. Somebody asked about Scatabo. Scatabo was long gone.
Yeah, he was rated. PFF's got him rated a lot higher than the one we used last week.
Yeah. So we're sitting here. Excuse me. We're sitting here at pick 153. Top players on the board: safety out of Oklahoma, guard out of Cincinnati, another edge, another wide receiver, Trevor Etienne.
Barron is definitely an intriguing option here. The edge from Miami.
That's a lot of edges. Wow. Yeah.
There's only two edges on the team.
I'm saying this is a deep draft at edge. So
yeah,
Luke Tandra too from Cincinnati, the guard. Some people think he's going to be a really good player. I mean, it'll be our third offensive lineman though.
Hey, can't just keep stacking them.
Eric's good with that. The draft 8 of them.
And you will be too come October. Trust me, you're gonna be like, oh my god, I'm so glad that we got another guard. Oh, Eric, you know this is the third time in my life I've been wrong. I'm glad I was wrong.
Let's consider a skill position player. We've done a pretty good job loading up the trenches.
We have, yeah. So we got Trevor Etienne, another Georgia kid. Is that Travis's brother? What do we got here?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, not Kobe Hudson. Not Kobe Hudson.
Etienne's 5'9", 205. Justin, thoughts?
Great with the ball in his hands. He spent his first 2 years at Florida before he transferred to Florida, like a dickhead.
Yes.
So, great runner, but I mean, the knock on him at Florida was he wasn't a good blocker, so he's not a complete back.
Well, so compare him to Chase Brown.
Taj Brooks.
Isn't he? He's like a Chase Brown type of running back, right? I mean, that's not really what we're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, he is more of a. He's got like he doesn't have like, unlike Travis, he's sort of shorter and squattier. He doesn't have like a real super athletic look. But I mean, he's great with the ball in his hands. He's a pretty good receiver out of the backfield, just not a great blocker. So he's not really a true every down back. So yeah, I mean, yeah, in that sense, yes, you're right. You kind of already got that guy in Chase. So I don't know how he's not really a compliment for him. You'd want a bigger. It seems like with Chase, you'd want like a bigger back to go with him.
Mm-hmm.
More of a bruiser.
Yeah, Taj Brooks from Texas Tech is 225, 230 pounds. Get him in the 6th or 7th.
What about the go up Eric? What about the guard? Because again, I'm not sold on Banks. What about this guy right here? I mean, he obviously he plays in one of the best conferences in college football. Well, Justin, what do you know about this guy? I mean, is this a guy that has opportunity to play? I mean, he's 6'4", 320.
Yeah, I don't know much about Kandra, but Mon, you're saying that he's a guy that's kind of been mentioned as like a mid.
Yeah, when I say that, it's not just like it's not some Jim 24 at AOL.com, some nobody. I've read what was that, Bob 38 at AOL?
Bob 38.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
No, but I've seen a lot of draft sites. They talk very highly of him. He's got some upside. And, listen, man, if we want to go heavy interior offensive line, I'm not going to complain. One of them's got the hit. One of them's got the hit.
Yeah.
Or none of them. But this they have him saying he's a solid zone scheme backup and an average starter ceiling. My biggest thing is we draft him. Is he going to replace Jackson Kirkland? Because that's where you kind of look at him.
He's probably going to replace Banks, the guy we took in the first round.
Get out of here. Here we go, Mr. Mims. He's rewriting history. I wanted Mims last year.
Oh, yeah. He's going to replace Mims so Jake can finally say he was right. King of revisionist history.
I wouldn't be upset if we pick him. I really wouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, I think he's one of the best. He's pretty much best player available. I mean,
towards the top. He's up there, yeah.
What about look at a corner here, Quincy Riley?
I think you go the guard. I think you go the guard here.
Oof, 24 years old. Almost.
Yeah, I think a corner at this spot is going to be a special teamer. If you want a corner that's going to start, it's going to have to be early.
I think you got to go Luke here. It's a great name too.
We're going to need a lot of bodies over the next couple years. We really are. Let's do it. Let's go to the next round.
All right.
I got to start my shift here in an hour. Let's go.
Oh, Mon's back on real time here. Yeah. Moving on to pick 193. We're waiting for the board to catch up. Top people on the board: running back out of Delaware, Marcus Yarns. A couple quarterbacks, a tight end out of Mississippi, another quarterback, Jesus.
We have got to go running back. Guys, I'm telling Taj Brooks right there. Look at him.
There you go. Make it happen.
This guy's a machine.
You don't want somebody named Zeke Biggers? Come on.
He's a machine.
Zeke Biggers blocked by Tate Ratledge? Come on.
Brooks is like 220, right? He's a bigger guy.
230. 5'10", 230.
Oh my God. Dude's built like freaking Jerome Bettis.
Take him. Yeah. Take him.
This guy, I'm going to tell you right now, he's going to be a fun player. Huh?
Marion Butts.
Yeah. Dude, this guy ran for 200 yards against McNeese Community College. He's
the next Christian Okoye, the Nigerian Nightmare.
No, he's a good player. I followed him a lot because West Virginia plays in that conference.
Yeah.
He's a solid player.
Yeah.
A cerebral rushing style, but lacks true play speed and north to south urgency. But he's cerebral, so he thinks it through. Yeah, 230 pounds. You don't have to worry about it. You don't need to be urgent. You just got to be going in the right direction. We can call him the juggernaut, right?
Man, Bob doesn't like our 3rd and 4th round picks. Come on, Bob.
He said last year.
No, he's talking about 3rd and 4.
Oh, I got you.
3rd and 4. Come on, Mon.
Let's pick Taj.
Taj Brooks. All right. Mon's been talking about all night. 203rd ranked player. We're getting him at 193, but we don't care.
So hey, he actually was 215 at the combine and ran a 4.52. So there you go.
Yeah.
So they got him listed as 230. So he had a lot of Taco Bell
He's
between
an
that
athlete
now.
like me. He's an athlete. Okay.
5'10", 230.
I'll look at that.
All right,
Okay.
let's see what PFF grades us. A B for our first pick, A minus for a second, C plus for our third.
Name the players. Kelvin Banks Jr. first round pick was a B, right? Okay.
Right.
Next.
Edge at Ohio State, JT. I'm not going to try and pronounce the last name again. A minus. Kevin Winston Jr. Safety out of Penn State, C plus. Tate Radledge, a B plus. In the third round, Darius Robinson, an A minus. In the
Wow.
fourth
Nice.
round, Luke Kandra, an A minus in the fifth.
Hey,
And
I
Taj
needed
Brooks, a C minus.
on.
come on. Trust me, it's going to be a winner, Taj Brooks. That's a solid draft.
Trust me, I wish we had clips of Mon saying, "Trust me, Cody Core is going to be that breakout guy."
I think I love our last 4 picks. Or I hate our first 3 picks, but I love our last 4 picks.
What's wrong with Tui
Molo.
Tui Paludu?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm so sour about
Mims? I know.
Malik. I listen. I love our last 4 picks. I think our last 4 picks are solid. I cannot stand the Banks pick, and in the Winston. I'm thinking we had the best safety in the draft fall in our lap in the first round, and we passed him up to take a guy coming off of ACL in the third. So I don't like our first 3, but I love our last 4. I think our last 4 picks are solid, no doubt.
Okay, so real quick, they gave us a B. Banks was ranked higher. I wonder why they went B there. I guess they thought we should have went defense. The Tui Malu they like. Winston, why does a Winston pick a C plus? Could it be the injury?
Well, that's why I said. It's risky. You said it too, Mon. It's risky when you're taking a guy that is coming off a serious injury.
They said we drafted the Texas defensive line. If you go up,
It doesn't. Their grading system doesn't make sense because we're in at the 22nd pick. He's a 20th ranked player, so we got a steal by 2 picks, and they gave us a B for it. And even Winston we drafted him 81. He's 3 picks ahead of where he was supposed to go, and they gave us a C plus. So I think that they're grading on that Coach Owens grading scale, and I'm not sure.
Which is probably right. To be
Yeah.
honest,
I'll say this: I honestly think our safest picks were Banks, Ratledge, and Kandra. I see them all being long-term starters on that offensive line. I really do. I feel much better about our offensive line with this draft. The one thing I do regret, I wish we would have gotten a bigger body, at least one more defensive tackle to help out on the interior. But we got it is what it is.
we would, if the Bengals. I'm just telling you right now. This is the last time I'm going to say it. If the Bengals pass on Starks, they will regret it forever. It'll be one of those things where he's going to go somewhere and be an all-pro safety, and we're still sitting with Nick Scott. So,
And not if they get an all-pro lineman, they won't give a crap.
People are calling Geno Stones Geno Pebbles. Come on. Hey,
We
Eric,
sent him to the quarry. Don't worry about
let's
it.
do this. The week of the draft on our show, Justin comes up with his mock draft, a complete mock for the Bengals. Jake, you do the same thing. I'll do the same thing. We'll send them to you, and then we'll just have a show. We'll debate it amongst each other. I'll justify each pick that I made, and then the fans, the people that are watching the show, can grade it, and then we'll go from there.
And I'll send mine that has all guards.
Okay. Let's do that.
Listen. All I want to say is this: Justin and Mom, you have given me hell for a decade for wanting to pick all receivers. Now I want to hear the same joke with Eric that all he wants is guards. That's what I want. That's what I'm hoping for.
Listen, we've gone back and forth how much that Joe Burrow's health is all that matters to this team. Guard the mofo. Give him some guards. Jesus.
Eric, Justin, who was the wide receiver from UCF that he wanted? Who was that guy?
Oh, God. What was
Jake, who was it?
I'm not saying.
Jake knows.
Is Brashard.
Yeah, Perryman. That's right.
Oh
On
yeah,
his
Perryman.
fourth team, he scored a touchdown. He goes, "Yeah, see, there he is. Look at that."
Yeah,
crowd."
I
That's
told
his
you
fourth
we should have
team.
drafted him.
Okay,
I
so
do.
that was
There
fun, guys.
is bad news. I don't know if you guys saw it out there, but the Raiders GM, his son told him, if you don't draft Ashton Genty, don't bother coming home. So Ashton Genty's not going to get below 6. So my mock draft
Yeah,
is going to be
I
out
don't
the
see
window.
Genty getting. He's definitely not going to make it out of the top 10. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Let me just rehash something real quick. I think, Justin, you probably read the same thing or saw the same thing. The Bengals seem to be, they really want Banks. That's the guy that, I'm hearing the Bengals really want.
It's
But
what
what
I
if,
picked up on, but
what if a top 10 player does drop to 17?
Well,
Like
what
Warren, something like a tight end from Penn State.
Let me tell you right now, if Warren drops to 17, I don't see how the Bengals pass that up. I just don't. I mean, he's a generational. Again, I know it's not a position of need, but good Lord, if he drops, now he is a player that I have watched, and he is one of the best players in the country.
Well,
You just can't, you can't say that about
Would you make
Warren and
that
not
pick?
say it about Genty.
Justin, would you make that pick?
I think we talked about it in the last one that if Warren's there at 17, you got to strongly consider it.
You really do.
There's a lot of hype. There's a lot of hype for the Michigan tight end too. Are they similar players?
Oh, Warren's better.
Dude, Warren is one of the best players in the country. He is
Warren's better. I mean,
so Jake, you're saying he's a lot like me, one of the best players.
He's a lot like you, yes, in your younger years. when you were going to see Peter, Paul, and Mary when they first came out.
Yeah, blood, sweat, tears.
Before we've gone off. I don't know if we were ever on the rails.
I saw Janis Joplin. I saw her
at the store or where. In concert. So, I don't know if the show's been on the rails at all, but we got to ask our viewers, those that are here with us in the chat, maybe those that are watching this later on. We need you to chime in because these guys love to talk Reds, and it is what it is. But we've floated out there. Hey, maybe we should do a big Red Pulse. Maybe we should do 30 minutes a week. It's not going to be the Bengals Pulse, but maybe it'll be on a Friday night. If the fans want it, Jake and Mon will come on here and talk through their highs and their lows of the week about the Reds. So we look for people in the chat. Let us know if you'd be interested in that. I know Jake and Mon are down.
We will love to talk about them losing 1-0 2 days in a row. We'll love to talk about that and how since 2020 they have lost 12 1-0 games, which is number one in Major League. So yeah, we'll talk about it.
Hey, they're number one. At least they're number one.
You're not going to be optimistic and talk about good things?
No, it'll basically be the Bengals Pulse, but it'll be the Reds Pulse, and Mon and I will come on here and just be completely disheartened and talk about our Reds.
So you're going to talk about how you need more outfielders and more pitchers because defense wins games, even though they can't score an F and run, right?
Bruce, go Padres! Come on, Bruce. I don't want you to.
Are they still undefeated?
I don't know. You know what? The Reds are 5 outs away from losing 3 games in a row, 1-0.
I know, it's crazy. Wow. It's crazy.
Listen, I would love to talk Reds. We do one weekly show, 30 minutes, just a recap of that.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, let us know, guys. Let us know. And Justin, thank you so much. We're going to do this again a couple more times, right?
Yes, thank you. Thank you as always, Justin.
The Dodgers and the Padres are both currently undefeated in the NL West. 8-0 and 7-0 respectively.
Yeah, $1 billion payroll. Yes.
I don't think the Padres have it, but yes.
No, you're right. You're right.
The Padres don't.
That's how much Mon gets paid, and his team's undefeated.
Yeah, right.
Listen, I love Terry Francona, but I am very disheartened right now. So I'm sure he will. I'm sure he'll
Right for
turn it
y'all.
around. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of his. I was very excited when the Reds got him, but oh man, the Reds got to start scoring runs, guys. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about the rest of it. They got to start scoring. Their pitching's been great. Got to start
Cincinnati sports is something else, man.
You want to talk about soccer too?
No, I want to go to bed.
Is there a Cincinnati pickleball league we could talk about? Who's
scoring.
actually Zach Taylor is a big pickleball player, so maybe we need to talk about that. Jake, take us out of here.
All right, let's get out of here. Hey, before we do though, once again, Justin, thank you very much for joining, man. We really appreciate it. Love having you on, and again, like we said, Justin will be on here, leading us all the way up into the draft. We're gonna have so many mock drafts that you guys are just gonna be sick to your stomach. And I promise you, I will not take Banks when I do mine. All right, here we go.
What if Starks is off the board?
As always, guys, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this podcast. Make sure you check us out on all the awesome podcast platforms, Apple, Stitcher, Spotify. As always, guys, if you like this podcast, make sure you give us that 5-star review. We very much appreciate that. As always, follow Mon on Twitter at @TheFireMon. Follow me on Twitter at CoachJakeOwens9. Follow Eric on Twitter at eFlash with 2 H's 88. Follow the Cincinnati Podcast Network on Twitter at CincinnatiPod. Follow the Bengals Pulse on Twitter at Bengals_Pulse9. The same on Instagram without the at Bengals_Pulse9. And follow our good buddy Justin Wells at Justin L. Wells on Twitter. Guys, as always, too, man, check out all the awesome podcasts right here on the Cincinnati Podcast Network. Eric looks like he is trying to say something. Yes, sir.
So we missed the super chat. Want to make sure we get in here. Wandering Monk 73 did throw up just to comment that we need player. I'm not sure, but payers to stop Mahomes and Jackson. So I think that was chiming in on defense. We absolutely do.
Excellent
And
point.
then I don't know if Jennifer was throwing this out for us or for others, but we're going to answer it. Jennifer asking if we're from Cincy or if anybody's from Cincinnati. But for those that don't know, we've never lived in Cincinnati area. We're just Bengals fans that have great taste. We're homers that have never lived around Cincinnati. But
I did for about 7 months.
Well, yeah, but you're not from there.
Short stint.
Yeah.
Thank you,
But
Augie. Thank you.
we all want to
All right, guys.
retire there one day.
All right, guys. Well, hey, once again, as always, he is Mon. He is Eric.
West Virginia.
That's our guy, Justin. Hoo day, Bengal fans. We will see you soon. Hopefully some Trey Hendrickson news coming up.